Hi everyone, Shane Monroe here, and a quick look today at the NewQ clip-on hub/stand for the Steam Deck. This has to be a complete disaster, right? Stick around and let's find out together. Okay, so when I saw this device on Reddit being advertised, I said, this has to be a joke, right? This looks like a completely terrible, terrible thing. People were making fun of the Kickstand, saying it looks worse than the Switch. And I said to myself, though, you know what? HDMI, 2 USBs, power in charging. Maybe this could actually serve a purpose to some of my viewers. So I thought, you know what? It's $30, which is cheaper than pretty much any of the hubs that I own or that I've seen for sale. And this might actually serve a really good use case for certain people. So I thought we would look at it together. There's really not much to see from a box point of view. So let's go ahead and open this. It's still sealed. I haven't looked at it. So I figured we would look at it together. And a little tab in here. Okay, nothing else in the box. Let's get rid of the box. Okay, and it's actually kind of attractive, a little slip out manual. And this is actually a decently little packaged thing. I'm honestly kind of shocked. All right, let's get this thing out of the box. Too much wrapping, too much protection. All right, we're out of the way. And this is it. Okay, so it's a clip-on, so it clips onto the back, reaches over, plugs into USB-C, and on the top, we have a USB-C in. We have two USB-As, and it looks like 2.0s are not blue, so I'm assuming they're USB-A 2.0s. So that'll be fine for a keyboard or a mouse, right? And then you've got your HDMI 2.0, which it claims will do 4K 60 hertz. So that's something we can test on the side. And of course, the fun of Reddit, the kickstand. And of course, I have no fingernails. Oh, you know what? Actually, okay, it's a little flimsy, but it's not as flimsy as I thought it would be. And you know, with that kind of pressure, I don't know, this might work out okay. Let's put it on and find out. So I have my Steam Deck here, and I'm going to just clip it on the back. Okay, well, crap, it did clip right on. Actually, it clipped on very, very well. It does not cover the vents on the back, and I'm going to pop this stand out. There we go. All right, it's not a complete disaster, okay? It's not a complete disaster. And we're just going to run this guy up to the top, plug it in. Okay, so from a back view, here's what we got going on. So you guys can see that okay. Now, of course, my problem here is these are all going to be pointed up. So if I were to take a power lead, right, and plug it in, so now I should have some charging going on. I don't know why this plastic is still here. Get out of here. Right, and then I've got HDMI and two USB-As. Go ahead and rotate, collapse the stand. All right, and I've got a little workup harness here. So I've got two devices. I've got a mouse and a keyboard. We'll plug those in. And then I have an HDMI. And I guess I should have looked at the orientation before I flipped it over. And then, of course, it's upside down. Okay, so I've got juice, I've got mouse, keyboard, and video. And I've got it all plugged in. Go ahead and power up the deck. Okay, and I just lost video, so I'm assuming it's over there. All right, well, listen, that popped right up. Let me get rid of that overhead light. It's causing a nasty glare there. Well, that only helped a little bit. That's okay. So you can see that it actually did pick up and work. And let me check. Mouse is good. This is a really crappy El Cheapo mouse, but it does the job. I was going to switch over to desktop, but I really don't have any reason to do so. And then keyboard, right? So keyboard works. All right. Well, listen. What's going on? I hear something like a repeat key going on. Hang on. Let me turn this up. Where's that on my... No? There's definitely... Oh, there was something repeating. Can you hear that? This keyboard's cheap too. All right, we'll have to keep that one in mind. It definitely sounded like something got stuck, and again, it could be this really cheap keyboard. But listen, okay, so how does this feel, right? From a secure point of view, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually holding up pretty well. The weight of these cables pulling down on the unit strangely gives it some structural support. Now, it looks terrible, right? And you would not want to hold the device while, well, I guess you could kind of do it if you had to, but that would be messy, right? It'd be messy to hold the device. So I would say that this hub/stand would be good for a TV station, right? So you can put it in front of your TV and just drop your deck in and plug it in. Of course, you have to clip it on and off, which isn't as convenient, of course, as some of the other docks. But from what I'm seeing here, this actually looks pretty good. I mean, I thought this was going to be a complete laughable embarrassment. I thought the kickstand was going to be terrible. I thought the hub was going to have problems. Now listen, I just plugged it in and you watched me do it. So there's always a possibility that there could be problems later on. But you can definitely see though that it's keeping my charging going okay. I don't know how well that'll come out on the camera. I think I've got a light that's, there we go. There we go. That doesn't really help because now you can't really see the screen. But we're going to go ahead and plug into a direct feed and see exactly what we can and can't do with this thing, because I know the HDMI out's going to be important to the people watching this video. Obviously, from a structural standpoint, from a plug-in standpoint, from a utility standpoint, everything looks good, but we definitely have to send it out to some various devices and see how it works. Will it plug into my 4K monitor? How does it behave? We've got a few things to test, so let's do that next. Okay, so we're back at my regular workstation. I've got my regular mouse plugged in. I've got my regular keyboard plugged in. I've got my Elgato HD60 plugged into the HDMI out. And this, of course, is being zoomed up to 4K for the purposes of this video. That's not something that the deck is doing by itself. I did that just for consistency on the video. And as you can see, everything looks good. The Elgato is a really good test because it's very picky. It's very finicky about its input, right? So everything's holding strong here. I'm not seeing any dropouts. I ran it 10 or 15 minutes before I started recording and everything looked okay. I think from a 1080p output perspective, I think we're in pretty good shape here. The truth of the matter, the proof of the pudding is going to be 4K. So let's move on to that next. Okay, so what you're seeing now is the camera pointed right at my 4K monitor, my LG monitor. And I have the deck plugged in. I'll do a little moving around so you can kind of see what's going on here. All looks good. No flickering, no fuzziness, no nonsense going on. No dropouts that I've seen so far, which is also great. And yeah, I mean, listen, it's 4K 60, so I can actually go into the information settings here, and I will actually do a nice little inset video here. As you can see, it's definitely kicking out 4K 60, and it looks pretty good. So what do I think? I bought this as a joke. I thought it would be fun, have a little bit of fun on Reddit, make a little gag video, poke some fun at the terrible kickstand, you know, what everyone else probably thought when they saw this listed at Amazon. But I gotta say, it passed all my tests. Now, understand, I haven't used this for weeks and weeks as a daily driver, so it could die in a week, or it could just be the greatest dock of all time. Who knows? I will mention a couple of things, though. First off, the utility of it being a clip-on doesn't really make sense, because if you're clipping it on, you would think that you would be taking it places with you. However, you're not going to want it clipped on while you've got a whole bunch of cords plugged into the top of it. I don't think that makes sense. Where this does make sense, though, is if you're moving your deck from dock to dock location. So in other words, let's say that you're a kid and you have weekends with your dad, weekdays with your mom, and you've got a little setup, a little workstation set up at each house. You could have this clipped onto the back, drop it down, open up the kickstand, and work at another workstation. That kind of makes sense. And then this thing would just never come off. You would carry it around with you all the time. And of course, you could plug in and charge at the same time and it wouldn't be any more inconvenient, and you'd save some wear and tear on your plug. So I could see that. So considering I expected this to be like a $30 joke, I would actually consider recommending it. Now, obviously, I'm going to need to spend more time with the unit, longer term, letting it run for hours and hours on end before I could truly recommend it. But if you saw this and thought there's no way that that could possibly do what it says it does, it's got to be a gag. It doesn't appear to be. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed looking at the NewQ. You know, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Leave a comment down below. Really helps the channel. Do you have one of these? How has it performed for you? Has it had any problems? Let my viewers know. They would love that information. And if anything happens, if this thing dies on the vine or I find some problem with it, I'll definitely annotate this video and shoot a new one. Anyway, this is the NewQ Steam Deck dock. It's available on Amazon. 1-day shipping, $30. Not too bad. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks as always for watching. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Take care.